I guess we'll start with how's your week? How was your week, I guess?
It was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you don't sound the best right now. Just want the audience to know why your voice might sound a little different than usually does.
I was at a party and I was talking over the loud music and also doing karaoke. No. Yeah.
Karaoke, we do that. I love karaoke. That was it? Just partying all night?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of us, the party animal of the group is apparently you. I was in my home, like...
Child of God parade.
Yeah. like a child of God, just
You're
being homely, staying out of trouble, no bruises on my palms. But
yeah, I don't know how those got there. They fucking hurt though.
I can't wait to hear back what your voice sounds like, because your voice sounds, it doesn't sound bad. It just sounds like
strained.
Not even strained. I don't even know that I would say strained. It just sounds, I'm just going to be interested in seeing what it sounds like hearing it back through the microphone. But anyways, are you going to ask me how my week was, or do we only care about how your week was? Do you care at all? Or because I didn't go to no huge party, so you don't care about my week? It's a little too late for that right now. I don't want no PD question. It's fine. We can go right into it. Nobody cares about how my week was. So I think we
have a commenter that would disagree when they said hi, gorgeous.
Oh, I was like, which one of us is this for? Because we're both in it.
In this current state, it's not me.
Nah. Don't underestimate.
I'm avoiding the allegations currently.
Oh. No. It's running from it for sure. So this week we're not going to talk about No Gay No Love, because we're going to wait and talk about it next week and just watch the remaining 6 episodes that we have and then close it out. So we're going to be talking about I always want to say No Judge, No Pain. The Judge from Hell is what we're going to talk about today. And then I'm going to talk about Blackout, because I've been telling you guys now, I think, 2 episodes back to back to watch it. I'm going to tell you because I finally finished it. And whether you've watched it or not, that's your problem, because I give everybody a 2 weeks heads up to go check it out. I'm not going to necessarily go into detail because Polly over here hasn't watched it either. I'm just going to give a general quick rundown with my thoughts. That way, if you still want to go back and watch it, I'm not telling you every single detail of what has happened in it, if anyone still wants to go back and watch it. But we'll kick off with The Judge from Hell, because that's what we've watched. And last week when we were talking about it, I was like, I'm going to guess that
someone close to him was
going to die. Yeah. And I don't want to jump too far. So we ended episode 4, right? No, 6? 6. Yes.
We watched 6 and 7, I think, right?
Or no, we watched 7 and 8. Yeah. So confusing with the numbers. We ended episode 6 with the lady basically getting snatched. Mm-hmm. And we don't know who this person is, if she's going to end up dying. She doesn't end up dying. Yeah. She's saved by the church lady, who you said maybe the church lady is Satan. And I remember being like, it's possible, but she's going to have been hella strong to be front and center at church every Sunday and for Bible study and walking around with a Bible all the time. But she was saved by the church lady and Justina's assistant. Yeah. That man spends a lot of time with that church lady. Can you imagine if they got together?
I feel like our kind of end game, which is so weird because in his demon form, he's this young,
oh yeah, that's true. But though he presents young in his demon form, he's probably at least 100 years old, because Justina is like, she said she was like 500 years old or something.
Yeah.
So technically, he would still be older, but it's.
Yeah. I think they said he was like 60. Like, I think that's what Arang said. She's like, he's still a young one of like 60.
Damn. He's only 60? 60 like human world 60 or like demon world 60?
Undetermined.
You're like, I didn't write the story. I don't know. Yeah. I barely know when people die in series. I have some notes directed towards you from No Gay No Love, and so I will make sure to address those when we talk about the final of No Gay No Love. But the lady that was kidnapped or dragged, she gets saved, but then the detective, the team leader got kidnapped. Now, there's a lot that's happening in these 2 episodes that we watched, and I want to be mindful in how I word this. So when she got kidnapped, right? Now, it's a good thing that I'm not a police officer, because when she was chasing after that man that she thinks is the serial killer,
she was like bionic. She was so quick with it.
She was very quick with it. But me, I kept saying, girl, just shoot. Like, just like, I don't care if his arms is up. That's crazy to say. Okay. That's very crazy to say, but I will never, ever, ever be in that role. But I was just like, you're here by yourself. You've been running. Like,
he's a known serial killer.
This man's been escaped for years, killed so many people. Like, the moment you pulled your gun out, because there were many opportunities for her to just shot that man dead, but she didn't. And I'm not victim blaming. I'm just saying that, like, that's why I'm not a police officer. But she disappears, right? They hear the gun go off, she disappears. What confuses me is that she disappears, they can't find her, but they see her blood, right?
Yeah. And then later they're like, it's suspected to be her blood, and I'm like, you guys can test it to tell if it's hers or not. Thank you.
But another layer to this is that they kept saying, "Oh, she's strong. She will make it through. She's strong.
Nobody's that strong that they can go without blood.
Like, what pisses me off is that, like, okay, so they had the case. So now we're gonna park that she's missing. They don't have her body. They have the case with the CEO, the entitled CEO.
Oh, that dude creeped me out. Like, especially when we're introduced to him and he rescues that dog. I thought he was gonna kill that dog or something.
I thought, did we ever see dog again?
That's true. Because like, I thought he was gonna get exposed because they were recording him. I thought he was gonna like break its neck or something, and that was like really freaking me out.
I didn't think that he was gonna do it like there. Yeah. I thought that like he was putting on a whole facade, taking the dog, then recording him. It's all great. But as soon as he gets in the car, he was going to like snap it. Like, I thought that we were going to visibly see him actually kill the dog.
Yeah, but we did,
because someone like that wouldn't do anything publicly where on the street where people could see him, because he's worked so hard to curate
a public image
that on the street where anyone can take a video of you. He's not going to do that there. But I just felt like the next scene was going to be him killing the dog. Yeah. But they never showed the dog again. But
we saw a different dog though in his house.
That was just like cage. In a cage. I'm just like, this man is a psych, like crazy. And the way the case played out, this one I didn't understand, in the sense that like all the other cases when they kind of got like a light sentence, I could understand her justification. So the case where the evidence was played in court, the multi-personality case, it wasn't submitted, so it didn't follow the process. So as far as it's concerned, in that court case, that evidence never existed. Yeah. So that part makes sense, right? The other case, the first case where the victim wrote a letter, like there are things that I can say, okay, it makes sense. This one didn't. For me, it just felt like, oh, you were definitely bribed to let this go, because you have submitted recording of him hitting this man. recording of this man being dragged out from, like, kidnapped into a van, and then you have confirmation from the guy himself that those are employees of his security. It was hard for me to kind of justify the decision to, I mean, granted I knew he was gonna die and I had no problem with it, but to justify the decision in giving him like a super light sentence, I couldn't wrap my head. This one, she kind of went a little, I would say, rogue. But he, detective, is all obsessed with knowing that like this guy is gonna die, spending time tracking her down, being focused on her, possibly killing this man who is a danger to society. He's gotten away with basically unaliving somebody. That kind of person is not gonna stop. So you're so concerned about her possibly killing him that you guys are like following him, putting all your resources, but nobody's looking for the team leader. Help me understand why nobody's looking for her. Like, why are we just chill? You found a whole bunch of blood that no one tested. We're suspecting it's her blood. She's missing. You're all like, she's strong, she's gonna make it through. But you're spending your energy looking after this man who has told you he don't need no support. He don't need no protection. He don't need no help. And I know that they gave the case to a different team. But I can't understand Down, detective, spending his time hyperfixated on Justita when his mom, his second mom, is missing.
Yeah, that didn't make sense.
I was just like, I'm so mad at you for, like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, your mom does good in this world. It makes more sense for you to devote your time there than to be wasting your time, and I say waste because that's a waste, trying to save this man or get evidence that she's killed this man when your mom, who is not a terrible, evil person, is missing. I just like
literally he could have taken PTO and he could have like done it on his own time.
Do you know how many dramas that people be? I just finished Flex X Cop. In that drama, she literally took time off and she went rogue her own self to get it figured, to find, like, to bring to justice the person that basically set her dad up. It's possible to, especially if you can. It just made me so annoyed because I'm just like, you out here trying to stop Justita from killing a killer while your mom is missing. And then when she does, they don't show us her body. Granted, I did not want to see it. But at first I was like, maybe it's not really her. Like, if the body is so deformed badly, that maybe it's just a body, but it's not actually her. But, and they don't like to test at that. They don't like to test anything at that place.
Maybe that actually is why they didn't show her body, because it's not her.
Yeah. I don't know.
That'd be interesting if it wasn't. That'd be a plot twist.
Because I'm trying to think, like.
But I guess they did call him, and he's like, "Oh, you found detective." I don't remember her last name. But.
I don't remember her last name either.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that he believes that's her because that man was like crying, showed up to Justita, cracks his phone. I guess. Focus on me right now. I guess it's okay for her to be out here killing people when it's somebody that you care about, when it's somebody that you like personally know. Like, I'm just like, what happened to like seconds ago where you were spending your time trying to stop her from killing murderers, but the moment it's somebody that you know that is killed, all morals out the mother effing door. Like, I'm like,
that's not what I thought you were going to go off about. What I thought you were going to go off about was like, why the fuck would you break the phone? Like, do you not have cloud backup? Like, is that not saved to the cloud? Like, you should have just deleted it. Like, I understand delivering drama in a performance.
Off of emotion, so that part, I'll give him that, because if I was emotional like that, I feel like I would definitely crack my phone if I realized that, that bitch is also saved in my iCloud. I could have saved my phone, but you know, they have access because that man be buying watches, so he can just get himself a new phone from the funds, from the police funds. Yeah, that's
where the money's going. It's not going to testing evidence. It's going to devices,
electronics.
Yeah, they're sponsored by like Samsung or something.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was just like it.
Are you okay? You don't seem okay. It gives you a it gives you a visceral reaction.
His character, if I'm gonna be honest, was irritating me, and I get it in the sense that, like, obviously I was like, sir, why are you getting in the way? Now I'm gonna assume that he's gonna stop getting in the way for a bit because he now wants her to track down the serial killer that killed his family, his mom, and his second mom.
He even said he would help her, like he would do it with her.
Yeah, so it's like, why weren't you on this wave, like, all, like, from day one? But I guess it takes having somebody that you personally know unalived to then throw out your
morals.
And for those who are not watching or listening, I have air quotes when I said morals, because seeing a like that case from the last episode where he killed his entire family, his wife, his son, his little daughter, and you still were up in arms about her killing him. What morals, sir? Those kids did nothing. If anything, children should be like the trigger for like wanting to just fire away people. Anyways, but it is what it is.
It's crazy too that he said that, like, what did he say? He's like, oh yeah, like, I'll kill him, and then she's like, then you're gonna go to hell too. He's like, you can send me to hell.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well,
like, you know that's a real place. Like, it's not even like an
empty
threat.
It's not a made up place. Yeah. It's like, it's real.
So why would you want to go there? Like, you met the demons. Oh, what did you think of his drunk confession when they were on the rooftop and he got all drunk?
I roll. I started to realize that I'm actually annoyed by his character. And for me, looks don't trump if your personality is like annoying. He's very confusing, right? He's all like, I want you to stop killing people. You're a bad person, but I like you and I'm interested in you. And I just wish you weren't a bad person. Okay, and then what? Where are we going with this? Like, she's a demon. There's nothing we can do about that. So now what do you want me to do with this confession, like, of yours? Like, oh, you're playing hard to get. No, she's just being a demon. Like, there's no hard to get. You are in your own one-sided thing. Like, obviously we know that she's like interested in him, but he's one-sided. Like, well, I guess she does have some push and pull on her end, which, like, she could literally die if she, like, continues to develop feelings for him. And what about him? She's bad. She kills people.
And then the detective, he did meet with, like, the older woman, like the fortune-telling kind of seeing woman.
Oh.
And, like, we got to hear that she's knew his parents. She, like, committed to, like, looking after him. She didn't do a great job because he did die that one time, so she'd be lacking a bit.
She said there's only so much, but
we saw her in the reflection. We saw her true self, her true form, and then later we also got to see her save somebody, and it's revealed or hinted at that she's an angel.
Yeah, that's what it kind of feels like.
And that scene made me cry, and I just got my lashes done yesterday, so I was like, fuck, this can't be happening right now. Like, can we not?
I predicted, because last week when we were talking about her, I predicted that, like, she has some kind of connection to the detective.
Spirit. Oh, I thought you were going to see the spiritual world or spirit.
Well, yes, that too. But I think we both kind of aligned that, like, she definitely has some kind of in that world. But I predicted that her connection was in relation to the detective, because she don't give no fucks about Justita, but she seems to be, like, attempting from the interactions that we see to protect or warn the detective. I'm just curious if the communication that she got from his parents to watch over him happened, like, in heaven. We're going to assume they're in heaven. Or my theory that his parents, one of his parents is like a demon and the other is a human being, could still be.
Or what if one's a demon and one's an angel?
Ooh, that's a mix.
Yeah.
That's how do you even get approval to do that?
You just be a bad angel and a good
demon.
You meet in the middle.
I guess there's that.
But yeah, it's great that she's an angel. She obviously does really nice things. But where was she for the detective, like the mom detective?
But her mouth don't be moving. The way she speaks, the words she says, now she interacts with the demon, would just see that she's just like, you know, when you like picture an angel, you think about someone that talks like very sweet and says kind words.
You picture Jiuk from the other show.
Yeah, like you think that, like, right? Not the not the crass old lady.
She's really good at being undercover.
Yeah, she's doing a really good job. Who do you? So, the serial killer. He seems so agile. Like, for someone that was allegedly and supposedly an adult when he killed Down's parents, when Down was like
that was
kid.
Like 20 or 25 years ago.
Yes. So, sir, it's either you got something inside of you.
I think he is
or it's somebody else cosplaying.
Oh, like a copycat killer?
A copycat killer?
Yeah.
Because the way that man's was moving, I mean, I guess the detective was also moving relatively quick, and she was also.
But I think she had like a lot of motivation and a lot of adrenaline in that moment.
I mean, he had motivation to not be caught. And he has more people he wants to kill. So I guess if I'm going to say that for the serial killer, I should say that for her, because she was also an adult at that time too, and she was moving. Maybe because I don't move that way at my current age. So that's why I feel like it's like some kind of superpower that they're able to like run up those stairs. Like, I was gonna say, the incline. That's crazy.
I always be sending you memes about people with bad knees or good knees.
I would have been like, you know what? Go ahead with your bad self. I'm not chasing you up this incline stairs.
Have you seen that one person on social media that dresses like Edna Mode and she does the little walk? Like,
oh no, I don't really.
She got some good knees. She like walks like I'm not gonna try to even show you what she does because
I haven't seen those.
It's a recipe for disaster. I'll find it. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
There was also something else I was going to show you, but now I can't remember what it was. It was on my phone.
It's all good. I feel like it's either, I just don't think, because initially, I think last week I said maybe the assemblyman is Satan, because then I thought that Satan was a serial killer. But the guy that she was chasing, it wasn't giving the assemblyman, like the stature, the vibes wasn't giving that. And maybe that's not, because I think we don't know if that guy was just another person trying to like kill people, but not necessarily even the serial killer, because the person that tried to attack one of their neighbors had a special knife that the serial killer used. But what if that got leaked and somebody else, like, because we talked about the assemblyman's son, not the second one, but the very odd one that we haven't seen that much.
Yeah.
He could be the serial
I was going to
killer.
say, I kind of still get a vibe that it could be one of them because, like, it kind of, like, from what we can see, which is not very much, it kind of looks like it could be one of those guys.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, his weapon makes me think that he's, like, some kind of demon or something.
Yeah, because
it's
the
such
knife.
It's such a weird-looking...
You know what? They like knives in that country. They really do. Someone not that long ago was going about knifing people. They don't really do the guns as much.
Well, you know what? If my life was being threatened, I would take a knife over a gun, like, because I feel like I could try to fight that person off a bit more.
Yeah.
If they have a gun, I have to kind of just hope that they're a terrible shot, like a terrible aim.
Yeah, but if they aim close enough to you, several times, something's gonna hit. Something's gonna hit. Yeah, but I think that like in general, in some of this like shows, the preferred usage is knife. The only instances where they get sophisticated is if they're like trying to do a cover up. They might throw you off a building, suicide. They might poison you. They might choke you from behind. But it's usually like knives is a go-to. Like the killers are not generally walking around with guns.
Well, yeah, it's probably hard to get them there too.
You know me, I don't know nothing about guns. So, but I can assume that it's not as easy as it is in America to get a gun in Korea. But
something that I like that Justita said was like, because I think the guy was asking for like mercy or something, or no, he said that he got right with God, like he confessed to God.
I was like, first of all, did God like tell you he's forgiving you? Because the tone in which he was even saying, because he was in church, remember when he got the call from the assistant who does just different voices, kills me.
We need to have him on the podcast.
Like, can you come on the podcast, sir? And he was like, I was just like, how dare you sit in church and talk to God like that? Like, it was just so full of himself. I was like, that man up there is not forgiving you, sir.
Yeah, but I like what Justita said, because she's like, God gave demons the power to send people to hell. Like, he wants this. Like, he signed off on it. Like, it's our one power.
He signed off. That's like, yeah. His character honestly pissed me off, but I don't know. His character did not piss me off as much as
detective.
Well, that sounds like her. Detective didn't kill nobody. But his character pissed me off, but not as much as like the first case. The guy from the first case, like, ingrained in me. I wanted that man to die like this. But yeah, I mean, this guy was annoying. But I think maybe because I'm not as annoyed because we see this often in crime and mystery, revenge, bribery dramas with the CEOs doing shady, shicey things like this. So I'm used to seeing characters like that.
Yeah, what annoyed me though is that the cleanup crew took it upon themselves to like blow up that building with the henchmen who actually did the killing, and like Justita could have had those knocked off of her, like her to-do list or whatever. I
wonder if that. Well, I guess it wouldn't count towards her because she didn't stamp them.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, but would they be considered killers?
Yeah, they killed the guy.
But he's being killed for killing the guy.
I think because he ordered the killing, and he also, because they showed like in a flashback what happened to the guy, like they strung him up by his neck.
Yeah. I mean, I know that, but I'm just trying to figure out like if it's the person that asked them to do it. Well, I guess I'm sure they've killed many people.
And actually, you know what's got me fucked up now that I think about it? Like, they were out here snitching on Justita to Aroma, and they fucking did the same thing. Like, they cared so much about the man with the bread.
Excuse me, what are these emotions that you're feeling here? Yeah. That you out here going to a wrong and saying the killing was very emotional, but you guys first of all had feelings to ask Justita to catch this man, and then you burned down the building. Like, yeah, that's full of emotions.
And they were like, he was such a good guy, he bought everybody bread, and then Justita's like, did I have some of that bread? Like, what's that got to do with me?
That one made me laugh when she said that. I was like,
you
valid.
Go off. Yeah, like, go off, sis.
Yeah, I remember being like, it's a little bit hypocritical, guys, to be full of emotions here, and then literally telling, and now you have this girl wrong having like Justita in her purview, and she's like watching her move. So all I know is that it's about to get a little dangerous for Justita and the detective, because I know that.
Oh, and she's finally cried too. Like, she's gone off the deep end.
I said, girl, your time is ticking on this planet, because what is this tears for? And do you understand why she cried? Like, do you get it? I don't. I feel like there needed to be like a different like, I don't know. It just felt like.
Wait, she was crying. Was she crying because she's gonna have to send him to hell or what?
No, it was like the scene. She like, yeah, I think it was because it said that like you can kill me and send me to hell.
But then like, what's so weird is that just before that she's like, make good on your promise. Like,
yeah,
like she
I was
wanted
just
to
like,
do it.
girl, like, what is you crying for? Like, you're sad. You can send him to hell. Y'all can be in hell together. Like, you can be the hell couple or something. I was just like, I wish that she was crying over something else, even if it's related to him. But like, I just felt I needed more to justify her finally like dropping tears. But all in all, I feel like it's definitely gonna get more dangerous for her because Arong is gonna start like catching on more and more and more that she's protecting him. And Arong told the assistant to tell her if Justita ever kind of shows like emotions.
Oh yeah,
like tell me what she's doing, blah blah blah.
And he tried to warn Justita.
Yeah,
about
but
it.
he didn't try enough for me. he should have said, "Yo, she said to me to tell her XYZ about you." What he was saying was like, I just think she's suspicious. I think she might be Satan, because he also said that. You shouldn't trust her. I was like, sir, that's not enough. Like, you need to tell her what she told you, especially because you are to only take orders from Justita. So you're just telling her like, well, I think she's Satan. Oh, like you need to watch out for her. You shouldn't trust her. If you said, no, she asked me to report on your moves and your behaviors, that's a completely different thing than like, I feel like she's Satan. I don't think you should trust her with nothing else to back up.
Yeah, because I feel like Justita would just kill her, no questions asked, if he told her that.
Yeah.
So he really should have went about that.
Except he low-key don't like her because he tells detective what to do to stop her from having powers for like 2 hours. I know he didn't mean like, it in the context for her. Yeah, but who else is a demon that he knows? Why are you out here telling the secrets of the demons? And he also made a joke that like he was gonna use it on her as well. But yeah, I just feel like it's gonna get worse. Arong is gonna get more annoying, and detective's gonna start doing things that his old self wouldn't justify as the right thing to do to find the serial killer. And at this point, I think the assemblyman and his family are gonna be now more present and more active in the show because they only show up here and there. But
I don't really have any theories or thoughts. I just hope they keep like the funny moments still, because like when she was at the police station for beating up those girls.
Oh yeah.
And then the moms came and then they're like, you are acting all crazy. Like, would you act like this in front of a judge? And then the guy's like, she is a judge.
I think that they might still have some funny moments, but there's going to be a lot more intense.
Yeah, it's going to be less frequent
and probably annoying moments for me. But I still loved it. I wish that I was ready to go into episode 9 and 10, but Korea said no. I have to wait until next week. Even though the rest of the world already watched that. Well, the rest of Asia, we're behind.
I like how you like pointed to me. I'm like, yeah, that's me.
But yeah, that concludes the Judge from Hell.
No pain, no judge. No judge, no pain.
No judge. And now I'm going to tell you about Blackout. So I done told you guys several times to watch the show. So this is spoilers in general. So Blackout is a 16 episode drama. It took me a minute to finish it.
Episodes.
It actually, maybe it feels like a lot of episode if it's something that you're not like interested in. Like I watched the first episode in one night. Sorry, not the first episode.
The first half?
The first 8 episodes in one night.
Okay,
and
that's
I would have
impressive.
watched even more, but that was only what was available on Hulu. Hulu held on to the rest, even though all the episodes were already out in Asia. So I watched the first 8 episodes in one night, and then I had to wait for Hulu to release the remaining 8 episodes. And then life just kind of like came at me, so I couldn't watch them all at once. So I finally finished it. So I'm going to tell you, I guess, overall what happened, and then my thoughts about certain things. And this is one of the dramas where I think that each episode, there might be some episodes that had like some filler content, but it wasn't so bad where just like, oh, this feels like a filler episode. And the way it ended, like, I didn't want everybody to die. I wanted people to be like punished using the human laws, because that's how he was punished. So basically the show follows Jungwoo. Jungwoo is this very smart kid, had a bright future, was going to go to medical school, and he lives and is from a small town. This is for our producer. Remember when we went to that island in Korea with the penises? But like, remember when we took the train to that little, like, it's a smaller town. The vibe of that place, that's basically kind of like the vibe of where they live. Shout out to the Penis Island. I can't remember what it's called actually, but shout out to them. I almost died exiting that place. But it took old Ajoshi to like snap me out of it and get me to exit. I was so scared because I'm scared of heights. I was having a fun time. It was really pretty, and then it was time to exit. I was like, this can't be this can't be the way to exit, and surely it was. I was like, helicopter, I need to be flown out of here. Will I be going back? Will I be going back? No. It was scary looking. Anyways, that kind of small town. So Jungwoo is just like very popular in school, smart. His family are kind of well off, well to do in that area, and he has a group of friends. The core group of friends are like 3 guys and 2 girls. One of the girls he was dating, and the other girl was just like his girl best friend. He drinks a lot one night, wakes up the next day. Well, he didn't even wake up. He was still like passed out. And then the police kind of storm into his home, into his bedroom, and arrest him for the murder of the girlfriend and his girl best friend. But there's no body, but there's ton of blood that indicate that nobody's alive. There's his car. His car is they have this warehouse where they all used to hang out at. They go to hang out, and his family owned the warehouse as well. And his dad bought him a car. So out of all his friends, he was the only person that had a car. And so the car was at the warehouse. In the trunk of the car, in the trunk, is that what you guys... Okay, yeah, that's what it is. In the trunk of the car...
In the boot of the car.
I was trying to make sure. In the trunk of the car, there was a shovel in there. So the assumption that the detectives had was that he killed them and buried their body. So they arrested him, and he got sentenced to 10 years in prison. Now...
10 years? That's crazy.
Yeah, 10 years
Damn,
for
that's like
killing
5
2
years.
people.
That's like 5 years a person. That's fucked up.
We're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, we're moving on, but that's crazy.
Because remember, in several commentary on The Judge from Hell, I'm just like, no, this is not too far off in how their laws are in that country. But
so why is everybody in like an uproar about her sentencing if they're gonna get life sentences anyways?
I mean, I know we're going back, but the first case, he would have only gotten a year in prison. So a year, whatever. Anyways, yeah, 10 years in prison. And while he was in prison, his core group of friends don't come visit him. Obviously, 2 girls are dead. The 3 guys, no one came to visit him. One girl from like one of his classmates that he was friends with, but she was not necessarily like in that core group, was the only person that was coming to visit him over the course of the 10 years he was there. His dad came to visit him, but then his dad died. So he visited him up until his death, which, you know, I mean, if you're dead, you can't visit somebody. His mom never came to visit him in prison. And that, I think that part like was difficult for him, because I feel like a lot of sons like love their mom. They're more connected to their moms. I don't know. But anyways, his mom never came to visit him. In prison, he was getting bullied and harassed and beat up by his cellmates because I guess, you know, morals, even though y'all are in prison as well. And in the same prison cell as a murderer. So I don't know what things you committed, but they were definitely beating him up for the fact that he killed his friends, and they were girls and they were teenagers. And
he was also a teenager though too,
yeah,
right?
but they didn't care about that. I think maybe it was hard. Sorry. it's an inside joke because the actor Byun Yohan, who plays the guy, is the character also as a teenager.
Oh, in both ages.
Yeah, and it was just like, oh, that's a hard 17-year-old, 18-year-old.
They did that in No Game No Love too, because remember she looked all punk.
I remember. I was like, is she?
And the way she was dressed.
But I was like, is this like, are they trying to make it seem like she's young? But I think they were trying to also say that she was a little bit rebellious, you know. But
they didn't have to do the actor like that though. They had to put her. They had to put her
the
like
red stripes is crazy. But anyways, yeah, it was really hard. Like, yeah, it's I was like, that's a grown man.
You're like, suspend belief.
I was just like, you know what? Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, anyways, yeah, he was a teenager as well. The girl that wasn't like in their core group, I'm not gonna call out all the characters. I think I'm just gonna keep the main character that I call out like by name as Jungwoo, the main guy. And everybody else, I would just call them by their, like, what their jobs was. So the friend that was coming to visit him, like, often was an actress. So we'll call her actress. And so she kind of grew out of a small town, made it big in Seoul, in the city.
Oh, I'm glad you specified, because I was like, how is she an actor and she in this tiny little town?
Yeah, no. She made it out. She lives in the city now. She's very popular. She's an actress. She's in a lot of commercials. She's a brand ambassador she's just a very popular girl, and she comes to visit him often and gives him like...
That's crazy. That can't be like good for your publicity to be visiting a convicted killer.
That's true. But I guess maybe that's actually because if she was that popular, the way people be with a super popular person,
yeah, they like
maybe
the netizens.
Her, yeah,
the netizens are merciless. How do you say that? Oh, merciless. Did you hear your squeak? You were giving this vibe right now.
Anyways,
sorry.
No, I mean, that's a valid point, but yeah, no one ever kind of caught on to that. He's finally like released from jail, and obviously like his mom never came visit him, so she's not gonna be out there waiting for him. But the actress we can kind of sense that the actress likes him, because you see her on set, and she's like finishing up, rushing up, running to her car to drive to get there in time to get him, and she gets there in time.
Ooh, if I was an actress, I would never drive myself anywhere.
I mean, she's going to prison to go pick up a prison man. She wasn't going to take nobody with her. She has like a whatever person that would have taken her, but she obviously did not want to take him. Anyways, she picks him up. She's basically trying to convince him to just go to Seoul and not go back to the small town and just like start over again. And he's like, no, he like wants to go back to his home and wants to see his mom.
What the fuck? She didn't want to see you. Why do you want to see her?
Well, like, I mean, maybe that's his mom.
Oh, I thought you were going to say maybe to confront her.
No, he just like, sure, she never came to visit him, but like, he still loves her. That's still his mom. And he probably still wants his mom to like love and care for him. Anyways, he goes back. His parents used to have money. So while this whole incident happened, his parents were, when he was arrested, his parents were on vacation in Hawaii. So they were like the rich family. They owned a restaurant, which obviously since everything has happened, the restaurant was bought over by one of his friends' family. And his mom works there. And she's not being treated well. Because the dad of his girl best friend that died is this drunk. He was an abusive drunk. He was abusive to his daughter and his wife. But obviously once he lost his daughter, everybody was a little bit more flexible with him. And
they're like, oh, how sad he doesn't got anybody to abuse now.
So but he's still drunk, and he's very abusive to Jungwoo's mom, because she works at that restaurant. So he goes back. His mom obviously basically kind of tells him to leave town, to like go. And she kind of seemed like a little bit cold towards him.
I was willing to give her the benefit of the doubt. I was like, if she's a working person, like she ain't got time to go visit him, like she probably doing double shifts, but she's just a bad mom.
Yeah, she told him to get out of town, and then he was contemplating
killing himself.
No.
Oh.
And then she gets pushed off a bridge.
His mom?
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I'm not going nowhere because I need to know who did this to my mom. Because at first they tried to make it seem like it was suicide.
They probably would also
jumped
suspect
off a bridge.
him too.
And he was like, yeah, I need to know who did this to my mom. Now, before we kind of go down there, his friends in the core group, we meet two of them. The third guy, we don't know where he's at.
That's probably the killer.
But the two guys, so we meet, one of them has become a police officer and the other is a nurse. The one that's a nurse, his dad was the one that bought over their old restaurant. And his dad just sits there and allows the girl best friend's dad to be abusive towards his mom. And I mean, I guess in a sense, it's like, we'll let it pass because her son killed your daughter, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, so these two friends who never can visit him in prison were all like, when they saw him, I thought that they were going to have like
talk down to him.
Yeah, but they were like, oh, it's so good to see you. We're so glad you're back. Let's go out. Let's go get drinks. That man said, I'm not drinking no more, because the way he was able to, in essence, be charged and confess to the crime was that he got drunk the night of the murder. So this is basically what happened. They were all supposed to hang out at the warehouse and drink and like hang out together because they all took a test, and only him and one of the other friends, like one of the other guy in the group, the one that we haven't seen yet, were the only ones that did well on the test. So everybody else kind of went to get drunk, and his parents were in Hawaii. So they were supposed to, that's a lie actually, they were supposed to go to Jungwoo's house since his parents are not home, and they were going to drink. But Jungwoo is having some issues with his girlfriend. Like, she's not picking up his call. He kind of finds out like there's something just kind of like off. He goes to her house. She has all these expensive clothes in her house, and it's like, how can she afford this? She's a high school student, blah, blah, blah. So he said, F this, we're not hanging out at my house. I want to be alone. So they all go hang out at the warehouse. They all do whatever stuff. He's alone at home, and he got drunk, wasted. So he has no alibi because he was at home alone. And because he was so drunk, in his mind, he blacked out and didn't remember. So like, if he killed them, he doesn't remember doing it.
Like, he can't really deny it.
Yeah. And so when they were like, this is a kid and he's getting like investigated, and the captain of the police station at the time is his dad's like best friend. So the guy, the son, the guy friend that we haven't seen, his dad is the police captain. So Jung was always called him uncle, like that's like family to him. And so his uncle's basically telling him, like, you just need to go ahead and just like confess. Like, all of the evidence is pointing towards you. We have like bloody, like a shoe with mud and blood on it. Like, it's, you just like, if you confess, it would just kind of make it, you won't have to spend a much like longer time in prison, blah, blah, blah. So he's a scared teenager being told that he did something. He doesn't even have any recollection of anything he did that night. So,
and then I pull up with this foot, and I'm like, I also want to submit this evidence.
And so, you know, I'm not going to go too far into it. So the mom gets pushed, and that's what kind of really kicks open him trying to figure out, like, what happened that night, which is then he figures out that he didn't kill his girlfriend and his friend. He would never have killed them. So he realized that, like, it's not him. And his mom did not commit suicide, because leading up until his mom dying, like, sorry, not, she didn't die, she's in a coma. Leading up to her getting pushed off the bridge, though she seemed so cold to her son, she went to stores, she bought meats that she was going to cook for him. She went to a store, she bought him like clothes. So that's not somebody that actually doesn't care. And that's not someone that would do all that and then go jump off a bridge to unalive themselves. So what it turned out to be was that she was pushed off the bridge by the drunk, the girl best friend's dad, because he saw, because at first because she distanced herself from her son, everybody thought that like, but then he saw her going around, and the things that she was purchasing was very obvious
was
for her son. So he was like, oh, like, you actually, like, how can you care about someone that killed my daughter? So they were arguing. He pushed her off. The nurse, which is, I know there's a lot going on. The nurse, which is Jungwoo's other friend, his dad,
the
restaurant owner, I guess also had the sense that, like, the person that probably pushed that woman off the bridge was the drunk. The police officer, his dad, actually witnessed the drunk push the mom off the bridge, but he was the police officer's dad was the only person that was, like, seen on camera. So they at first suspected him. Eventually it became obvious that, like, it was the drunk, and he was arrested. There's all this stuff going on, and everybody kind of welcomes him back. By everybody, his close guy friends, the captain, who is now the chief of police, is being kind of like, they're not treating him like someone they truly believe killed somebody. Because if you truly believe someone killed someone and you didn't go visit them in prison, when you see them, you're not going to be like, oh my gosh, we're best friends again. Like, you're not going to be all like huggy, whatever. Like, you've done your time in prison. They mother effing killed somebody that's supposed to also be your best friend as well. So I just knew that everybody was full of shit. Even the guy friends, because they give excuses, because he asked them, why didn't you guys come visit me? Because homegirl actress was not even his close friend. She came to visit him throughout the entire time there. They were like, well, we had to go to military, and that's go to nursing school, and nursing school is so difficult, and I work now. So they all kind of give a whole bunch of excuses as to why they never came to visit him. So many things are unfolding. There's a new detective in town that was transferred into their little small town, and everybody kind of treats Jungwoo as he's trying to, like, say somebody did this to my mom. Everybody's treating him like, how dare you, a killer? Like, have something to say. How dare you be looking for justice, blah, blah, blah. And then when everything kind of switched, yeah, how dare you? Everything kind of switched into him, like, now trying to find out what actually happened that night, because he knows that he did not kill his friend and his girlfriend. So he's trying to figure it out. We're going to fast forward through all of the chaos, okay? So basically, I knew as I was watching it, I knew that the chief of police was full of shit, but I was like, maybe he's not, but he has to be involved. There is, the chief of police has two sons. One of them, Gonho, because I don't know what his job was, so we're just going to call him by his name. Gonho was away in the States. That's why we didn't see him. So he was one that was part of the core group.
Oh, but he's also he's a brother of the police, or the...
No, he's the son for the police chief. Gongo has a twin brother. The twin brother has some disabilities. They don't really necessarily call out what his disability is, but it's in relation to, like, his mental abilities. And so he's not part of the core group, but, like, they've all, obviously, because Gongo and him are twins. The twin who has disabilities, we've seen him around. He basically knows that Jungwoo did not do the killing. And long story short, because we can be here all day if I were to go, and I really want to, but we don't have the time to be here all day today. Long story short, there's actually two sets of murders. They assume that the two girls were murdered by the same people in the same scenario, but they're actually separate scenarios. So we're going to start with the first scenario, which is the girl best friend. That night when Jungwoo decided to stay home and not, like, party with them, the nurse, the doctor, the girl best friend, and Gonho all went to the warehouse to, like, drink. So they're all drinking, all this stuff. Gonho actually, like, recorded them with her phone, with the girl best friend's phone. Or no, she started recording. She's showing everybody that's there. But it's not necessarily, like, trying to be malicious. She's just, like, recording whatever. So they find this video later, which is what shows that, like, those three guys were actually present with her. Gonho leaves because he needed to go home to get more alcohol for them. When she leaves, the police officer allegedly has a crush on the girl best friend, but the girl best friend has a crush on Jungwoo. So she's talking about this, and the police officer says something that triggers her, and she basically tells him, like, you're a loser. Like, you'll never be Jungwoo, blah, 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 blah. So, long story short, the nurse and the police officer rape her. Yeah. They sexually assault their girl best friend. And all this happens. Gonho gets back. He goes up the whatever lofty whatever area of the warehouse. He sees her and he's like, "What did you guys do? Like what's going? Like what?" Because he's like, you can kind of tell something because she's on the floor. So she now is surrounded by another guy. She's panicked. He's like, "What did you guys do? Like, how could you do this?" So she's panicked. She runs and she falls down the stairs, hits her head. Yeah. So they didn't actually kill her, but she was assaulted. There's another guy standing over her. She kind of snaps out of it. She's trying to escape from these people that were allegedly her friends. She falls down the stairs, hits her head, and dies. So Gonho, who all he did was leave to get alcohol, come back, is panicking. They're like, let's figure it out. Let's try and figure out how we'll like fix this. He's yelling at them like, how could you do this to her? And then they're like, we didn't do anything. Like, she did this herself, blah, blah, blah. So Gongo's like, I'm going to call my dad because his dad is police officer. So they were trying to stop him from doing it, but he's like full on crying, panicking. While they're talking amongst each other, the police officer and the nurse, he calls his dad anyways. The dad is hanging out with their dads. So they all leave to go to the warehouse together. They see the state of everything. The police officer, the chief of police, basically gives them direction, sends the boys to go to their house, to the chief's house, to go basically have an alibi. And then the parents are supposed to basically fix everything. So the parents, the two dads, so the police officer's dad and the nurse's dad, carry her body, put in the trunk of Jungwoo's car, because Jungwoo always leaves his keys to his car in the warehouse. So they put her body in the car, and the chief of police was like, I have to go meet, because he gets a call from like who we assume is his like boss's boss. So he had to leave, but he tells them like, don't talk to nobody, don't stop, go as far as you can with his body, go. Anyway, so they drive all the way out to this abandoned school. They basically are trying to bury her body. When they go to get her body out of the trunk, she moves. And she says, Ajashi, like Samchun, like basically calling out to the nurse's dad. And instead of like, shit, she's alive, like, no, they were like too deep. So he takes a shovel and beats her, like hits her until she actually dies. Then they bury her body. Now, the actress I mentioned earlier, before the dads got there, she was there. She went there. She saw them in action. She told them not to panic. She's like, we can figure this out. Like, let's not panic. So she...
The actress?
Yes. She knew what they did. She knew that Jungwoo was not involved. She knew. So she saw them do whatever they did. The parents cleaned it up after the fact. And somehow Jungwoo was the person made like accountable for it. So that's death number one, right? The police officer was arrested because Gongho, one thing I forgot to say, Gongho took her backpack, like the girl best friend's backpack, and took the underwear, put it in the backpack, hid it. So he finally came back from the States. And he has an alcohol problem because of this guilt, because his dad sent him away. So because of this guilt. So when he comes back and he sees that people are like writing like terrible things on the wall of like Jungwoo's house, he goes over to meet Jungwoo, gives him the backpack. The backpack has the phone, which shows that all the guys were with her that night. It has her underwear, so they're able to do some DNA testing, which was how they were able to arrest the police officer and nurse, because their DNA was on her, so they were arrested for sexual assault. Gongho, basically, his dad basically was trying to get him to lie about what happened that night, so he ended up unaliving himself. Yeah, he ended up unaliving himself. because he just couldn't live with the guilt of what like happened, and the fact that like his friend went to prison and all that stuff, and he just kind of took the easy way out in a sense, by like escaping and going away. So that's that first death. The second one, the girl. So there's another crew. There's a doctor who is a doctor of the twin, Gong Ho's twin, and he's married to a assemblywoman. So he has a cheating problem, but he loves underage girls. So he was, remember,
that's why she has the
expensive clothes. He was having an affair with a girl. That same warehouse where all that stuff went down is the same warehouse this girl gets killed in. So she takes him to the warehouse. They're going to get whatever busy, but she gets a little bit, air quotes, mouthy. She takes his ring and she throws it away. This guy is married to a controlling, I won't say, a controlling assemblywoman, because as an assemblywoman, you can't have any scandal. And she's kind of he's younger than her. She's like an older lady. She's like, she needs her man to be perfect. And so throwing the ring away, how is he going to explain to his wife why he ain't got no ring? And it's like in a haystack somewhere. So he's pissed. He calls her a slut. She calls him a blah, blah, blah. She's like, I'm going to call the police and blah, blah, blah. So in his panic, it hits her with a spanner or whatever, a wrench. Yeah, he hits her with a wrench. Guess who is there when this happens? The actress. She recorded the whole thing, and the girl sees that the actress is there, the girlfriend. But anyway, she bleeds out. She dies. But her body's missing. The doctor didn't take the body. The actress didn't take the body. Who took the body? The twin.
I thought she was still alive.
No, the twin. The twin took the body because what we get to see is that he had a crush on her. Yeah, but not in it like, in his mind, he was trying to like save her. So because he saw basically what happened that night. Down with when the girl that got assaulted, and because he was just at the warehouse. So he carried her body, took her home. There's this place in their house, underground, that's like a secret place that no one knows, and he put her body there. In his mind, I think he was protecting her, and took her body. So all these years, the chief doesn't even know that the body is like in his house. Long story short, he goes in, the twin is like visiting with her, talking to her, and the chief is like, is looking for him. He finds him downstairs, but he hears a voice from another room that he thought was a wall. So he breaks it open, he sees the girlfriend, the body, and he's like, why is this here? So the twin runs out to try and get Jungwoo because he knows what's going to happen. Jungwoo gets there in time, but too late because the chief sets fire to the body. Long story short, the chief tries to like unalive himself. Jungwoo's like, no, you will not get the easy way out. You will like deal with this, deal with the crimes that you did. Basically, everybody, Minsu, the nurse, his dad that bought the restaurant, he died because the chief convinced the police officer's dad to basically set up the nurse's dad to be the person that did everything. So the police officer dad told the drunk that the person who actually killed your daughter was the nurse's dad. So the drunk, all this time hating Jungwoo, now realizes that Jungwoo had nothing to do with his daughter's death, went to the restaurant, shot and killed the nurse's dad. So that one's dead. The drunk goes to prison, and I don't know what happened to the nurse's dad, but I feel like he probably also went to prison. The chief of police went to prison. The actress, she was crazy. So the reason why she never told anybody that like Jungwoo was not the person who killed those girls. No, the reason why she never told anybody was because when Jungwoo was in prison, she could have him all to herself. She was obsessed with that man, and she was basically trying to frame him for murder again, because she realized that when he was in prison, he had no one. So he focused on her. But the moment he came out of prison, there's this new girl in town that has been helping him to kind of work some of this case with a detective. And so she drugs Jung-woo, takes him with the help of her like assistant who doesn't know, who just thought like didn't know the context, carries Jung-woo to the house of this girl, places him there, passed out, waits for this girl to show up so she can kill her and blame it on Jung-woo. So he's back in prison and she can have him alter herself again. It didn't obviously pan out that way. She ended up getting like, there was a whole scandal. Like she didn't kill anybody, but she knew all of this stuff. She had all the evidence and she withheld stuff. And then she ended up going to a mental hospital because she lost her mind. And with the scene we see her, she's like talking on the phone. She's like, I love you, Jung-woo, like acting like she's in a relationship, but there's nobody on the other line. She's like actually certifiably lost her mind. And then Jung-woo is like going back to school, going to medical school, like trying to get back on the path of where we're supposed to go to.
His mom wake up from the coma?
His mom woke up from the coma. Good call out. She woke up from the coma. Jung-woo, they redid his case so that he can be found officially not guilty in the courts. And so that worked out.
They better have paid him money too. Like
I don't think there was any money restitution, not that I know. But his mom, I think, ended up buying like a restaurant or buying that restaurant back. So the twin now lives with them because, I mean, who's going to take care of him? His mom's been dead. His dad is in prison. He didn't do anything. And he needs support, help, and love. And yeah. Anyways, I said that really quickly, and I wanted to really say it like down to how we saw each of the reveal because it was actually insane. Because throughout the whole thing, you're not really sure what's happening. You know the actress is a little bit sketchy because it's like she's giving obsessed. And then you're like, but she can't be involved. Because at some point I thought that maybe she killed the girlfriend because she's so jealous. Like she really loves this man. But she knew, but she was willing to have this man sit in prison for 10 years because that means that he can't go nowhere. No one's going to come visit him so she can solely get his attention. She was willing to send him back to jail for murder just so she can go back to that. Because she said to him, like, you're not giving me any, like, since you've been out of prison, I thought that, like, things would be different. Like, I've done so much trying to get your attention. And, like, you're still so focused on her, his girlfriend, and all these other people. And then this new girl. And so, anyways, it was really, overall, a really enjoyable drama. It was also very sad as well. I can't imagine what it feels like to be accused of something you didn't do and to lose 10 years of your life and to come out and not necessarily also gain anything back, right? Because people still see you as that. And then to have everybody that you trusted, like your best friends, your uncle, like all these people actually be involved in like sending you to prison. So the show kind of ends with him doing a memorial service, like ash dust for his dad, for Gun-ho, because Gun-ho was honestly just another victim of the scenario who sadly like didn't necessarily do anything but was instructed to kind of withhold stuff and he could not handle the weight of that. And then for the girlfriend and his girl best friend. But yeah, it was a really good show. And that concludes that. I still recommend to still watch the show, even though I've kind of given you what happens. Experiencing it is a little different. But yeah. Anyways, I feel like I talked for a really long time. It always feels this way because Paulina never really talks. Anyways. With that said, I guess we're going to get out of here, right? Unless you have something else to say to the audience. No? Okay. Well, thanks, you guys, for hanging out with us today. Next week, we'll be back with some more The Judge from Hell and a finalization of The Glory. No gain, no gain, no love. No gain, no love. The Glory is in crazy. Anyways, bye, guys.